Well, let's hope that the Dodge Cummins starts today. The crank position sensor, I still haven't gotten around to ordering it, so that's that repair's on hold. The truck is drivable with the tachometer not working. You just can't effectively go on the highway over 50 miles an hour, so this is going to be kind of a long, low and slow road trip. Well, it's not really low, is it? No. You know what I mean. Going to take some back roads to get there. It's going to take a little longer to get there. So we're going to look at a, well, I'll leave that as a surprise. But I decided, since it's school vacation week right after Christmas and the boys are home, rather than leave all three of them at home with my wife, who's got the week off, which would be mean, I'll take at least one of them to diffuse the tension. So decided I'm going to take my youngest with me, Mark, because Mark is the most interesting talker. Mark likes to talk. So welcome to Thursdays with Mark. Say hi, everybody, Mark.
Hi.
All right, I plugged this truck into the core heater about an hour ago. It was running just a couple of days ago, so hopefully the batteries will still have enough juju left. Oh yeah, things are looking up. Oh yeah, alrighty. Woo. Okay, Mark, we're on the road.
Turn left and turn left.
Oh, gotta edit that out. Take 2.
Turn
All right.
left on the road.
All right, Mark, we just gotta stop at the post office. Oh, we drop off this package for Auntie Lynn, and then the post office, and then we hit the open road.
Drive 0.5 miles, then turn right on.
Wait, Mark, I gotta turn this on because this is exactly the kind of
Right on Mill Street.
witty insight that you're so well known for. So tell me what we were just talking about. You asked how I slept in here when I went on that long trip to Ohio to pick up our trailer, right?
Yes.
And you wanted to know where I slept, and I said I slept in the back seat. I said I kind of curled up because I'm tall, but wasn't comfortable, but I was able to sleep in there. And you said that they should make a truck that has an area that turns into a bed, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I do have those. It's those big 18-wheelers. They have sleepers on them. The ones that guys have to drive cross country so they can sleep. It's like a little built-in camper.
Yes.
But you were saying, no, it should be like a pickup truck that has that, right?
Yeah.
So, I would say the problem with that is, how often do you think people need to sleep in the backs of their trucks, pickup trucks? Not very often, right?
Turn right on Mill Street.
So there isn't much demand for that kind of a feature in a truck. So if the truck manufacturers put money into engineering and designing and putting in seats that folded completely flat, and those seats might not be as comfortable when they're in the upright position, there might be several reasons why they might not do it. But the main reason is there's just not enough demand. If people want a feature, if a lot of people want a certain feature in a vehicle, like sometimes a car manufacturer will come out with some kind of a feature in their vehicle, like maybe a camera in the back that faces the rear so that it makes it easier for people to see what's behind them when they're backing up, right?
2 miles. Turn
Well, I'm
right
sure
on
that
Main Street.
at first, like probably only 1 or 2 car companies probably thought of that idea. And then all of a sudden what happens is those cars become real popular because they have that feature. A lot of people start buying certain brands just because it has a certain feature. Then all the other car companies will quickly realize they better get on board with the idea of putting rearward facing cameras or collision avoidance systems, something like that, like an alarm that beeps to let you know that when you go to back up if there's something behind you, an obstacle, right?
0.1 miles on West Main Street.
So now, practically, I think every new car, if you buy a new car, I think almost every one of them has some kind of something that does that for you.
Then turn left.
Oh, look at that. Look at the police in front of us. The state police. Yeah, we're going in the wrong direction because we're dropping off this package. I probably should have shut the GPS off. She hasn't shut up much at all, right? So, you still think they should put beds in the back of pickup trucks? I mean, you know, beds to sleep in. No? How old are you, Mark? 13. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being wicked smart, and 1 being dumb. Oh wait, 1 being the opposite of wicked smart. How smart would you say you are?
5.
5? That's average. I know you're not average. Don't sell yourself short. Oh, are you just being modest?
Yeah.
Oh, well that's good, because we talked about modesty, right?
Yeah.
Humility, remember humility? The ability to laugh at yourself?
Oh yeah.
To have to have that kind of a sense of humor and things like that, right? All right. So, anyways, because we talked about when you're president, right? When you're going to be president of the United States, that you're gonna have humility and modesty, dignity, right? A lot of these things because they're important. Is that what you said? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you're not going to chew gum in the Oval Office, correct?
No.
Very good. Yeah. So that was the garage calling to let me know that they figured out what's wrong with Mummy's Honda Odyssey. What that clunking noise was that I couldn't figure out. They said there was some bolts broken off on the frame, sway bars bad, and some bearings. That's what Mummy said they said, actually, because that was that phone number that called here and I didn't get the call. They called home. Mummy just gave me the word, so it's going to be over $400 to fix it. But what stinks is that that's something I could repair, but I couldn't find it. That's the problem when you only have a jack that you can jack the car up a little bit. When they put that in the garage, they put it up on the lift, and they can walk underneath the car, and they can reach up and they can start pulling and tugging and prying on all kinds of parts that you can't even get to easily with the car on just a couple, like several inches off the ground, right? So, oh well. What do you think? Think that's expensive? 400 and huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds expensive, right? But he's got mechanics that they have to get paid, right? And then he's going to pay for all kinds of other bills to keep the business open. And he's got to make money, right? It's not in it for charity. It's what that's all about, running a business. What are you going to do when you grow up? I forgot.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I want to work in the government.
You want to work in the government. I think that's a noble institution, even though some people might not think so. You think you'll still be a congressman or a senator?
No.
You don't know?
No. Wait and find out.
You think you'll be a lawyer?
Yeah. They do get paid well.
Lawyers get paid well?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them. Not all lawyers are, rich people though.
Yeah.
A lot of lawyers, they have to start out, they have to do public defending. You know what that is? All right, that's like if you get arrested for something, right? Because you did something wrong,
Yeah.
and you got to go to court, and you can't afford. If you can't afford an attorney, that's actually in the rights that they read you when you're arrested. They have these things called Miranda rights. So when a police officer arrests you, they Mirandize you. That means that they read you this very specific thing. I'm sure you've watched those cop shows on TV.
Yeah.
Probably seen that. You see them read them their rights. They always say the same thing.
I like something about.
You have the right to remain silent. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Yes.
You have the right to an attorney or representation or something like that, right?
Yeah.
If you cannot afford one will be provided for you. So what that means is if you can't afford your own attorney because you're poor or whatever, that the government will provide one. And the lawyer that they have to defend you is called a public defender.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
So you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
What would happen if they didn't have public defenders and you couldn't afford an attorney? What would happen?
I don't know.
Well, if you got arrested and you couldn't afford an attorney, what do you think your chances are that you would be able to not go to jail?
1 to 100.
1 out of 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even worse than that. I don't know.
Oh, if you're smart, you can get yourself out of it.
Well, yeah, but even if you're smart, that doesn't mean you know the law and you know all of how the whole process works. You know, if you're a lawyer, you go into court, you know what to expect, you know what to say. So if they didn't have public defenders, then anybody who couldn't afford a lawyer would probably go to jail. So do you think all poor people are crooks? Do you think all poor people should go to jail?
No.
No, right? So that's how we have a system, try to keep it fair. So a lot of times attorneys, to get experience with being in court, they will do public defender work. They don't get a lot of money for it, but they get experience. They learn about the court system, things like that.
They get enough to pay their bills and feed themselves.
They get to pay their bills and feed themselves. They don't get rich, but it's a good learning experience. It's kind of like an apprenticeship. You know what apprenticeship is? Sidekick, yeah, kind of. You're right, yeah. So you follow the guy, the main guy who knows what he's doing, and you learn from him.
Yep.
Oh, very good.
What was your favorite thing you took us on when we were little?
Favorite thing I took you on when you were little? All right. Well, actually, first you asked me what was the favorite thing that I took you guys on, and I said I think that you want me to say when we went on the cruise, right?
Yeah.
And you said no, not necessarily. And I started to say how when you guys were younger, okay,
Yeah.
you guys didn't fight all the time with each other, right?
Yeah.
And you were a lot different.
Yeah.
So we used to go to places and I thought we had a lot of fun. Like I remember when we went to Storyland, that amusement park up in New Hampshire. I thought we had a really fun time with that. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
You don't remember the crazy barn?
No.
That weird ride that went up and spun around? Well, see, you're the youngest. So I'm talking about like maybe when Peter was 7 years old, so you were maybe only like 5 years old?
Yeah.
All right, how about this? Do you remember going to Clark's Trading Post? Clark's Trading Post, that's also in New Hampshire. That's the place where we went on the train ride and they had that guy. He was dressed up like he was a crazy man.
Yeah.
And he kept like following the train and yelling and then we were having fun yelling back at him and everything because that was part of the whole deal there. And they had those trained bears. They had the bears. Remember we saw those bears doing the show?
Yep.
Right. Clark's Trading Post. Well, that's probably like around the same time that we went to Storyland. And then we went to we went to somewhere else up there. I forgot where. We went to that remember we stayed in that condominium up there in New Hampshire because we were going to someplace. What was that place we went to?
Oh, yeah, the place with the carts you can go on the track.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Was that the Alpine slide?
Yes, that's the part I was thinking. That's the one I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah. The Alpine slide. That's like that concrete track with the cars.
Yeah.
And you ride them down. Yes, I remember that.
And then there was the big steep, the mountain.
Yeah, right. The ski lift was there. We took the ski lift up.
Yeah.
I remember another time we stopped at another ski place, and it was in the summertime or the fall, and we took the ski lift all the way up to the top of the mountain. There was a restaurant up there.
Yeah.
I remember that. Remember that trip?
Then we sat on the mountain. Then we sat on the rocks and looked down.
We sat on the rocks and looked down over the mountain there.
We have a picture of that.
Yeah, oh yeah. We got a lot of old pictures. So that was a fun trip.
Yep.
Of course, we've had a lot of good fun camping trips.
Yeah.
It's fun to go on Lake Sebago, and once a year we go up there now, and we rent the boat for half a day,
Yep.
for 4 hours. We go out on the lake. Do you remember 2 years ago? The water was really rough,
Yeah.
and all the water kept spraying over the front, getting everybody soaking wet,
Yeah.
windy. A lot of people weren't enjoying it. Some people. I call those people the women.
Yeah. And then we had Mrs. on.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
time,
yeah.
the pickle-
She actually, I'm gonna say she actually was a pretty good sport about it.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of the more fun times we've been out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah. Logan and Peter loved the tube that time. I like when we stopped and we swim.
Yeah.
That's not
Like on the sandbar.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
It is a nice old barn there, huh? So where else? Let's see. Trying to think of other trips.
Well, this one doesn't count as a family one. You and Peter went to the
Enter right on Summers Turnpike.
you guys went on the water park and we couldn't because we were younger and we went on the train ride.
Well, yeah, we split up there because that's right. You boys were still too young. You couldn't go to the water park.
Yeah.
So Peter and I went to the water park, and you went with Mommy. Where'd she take you?
On the train.
Train ride, right? Yeah, scenic train ride.
Yeah.
How was that? I forgot what you said about that.
It was actually good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, there was a clown.
That was also in New Hampshire.
Yeah, there was a clown there.
There was a clown there.
Yeah, did not enjoy him.
Did not enjoy the clown.
No, I don't like clowns.
Do you find clowns scary?
Kind of.
Did you know that there's so many people that think clowns are scary that there's actually an official name for that?
Yeah.
I don't remember what the name of it is, but there is actually a name. You know, like arachnophobia is a fear of spiders.
Yeah.
So there is actually a triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13, because trista 3, deca 10, triskaidekaphobia. Hydrophobia is the fear of water, but it's also the official name of rabies, the disease. How do you like them apples? How about this? Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other one.
What's the closed space one?
Claustrophobia, fear of small spaces, very good. Fear of heights. Huh. Come, I can't think of that one.
That's one of my fears.
Heights? Yeah, I think a lot of people have a fear of heights, and that's perfectly normal.
When we were on that, what's it called? What's that lift that was on the cruise?
Oh, yeah. That, what the heck was that called? The Star something, right?
Yeah.
That was that big globe on a big arm, like a crane,
Yeah.
and you got inside of it, and then it lifted up, and then it went out over the ocean.
It was cool. We got to see
yeah. I forgot what port we were in, but we saw some of the actors' houses. I think it was Sean Penn was the actors whose house that we saw there. And,
That was destroyed.
yeah, destroyed by the hurricane, or a hurricane. Anyways.
We were in Nassau.
You're right, Nassau, Bahamas. Yes.
Because like Cape Canaveral, Nassau, Bahamas, and privately owned
Yeah.
island.
All right, Mark, go ahead. What was your question?
Back then, if you had a fancy car, didn't like people destroy it or paint it or something?
What do you mean?
Like, I was thinking.
If you had a fancy car,
Let's say if you have what's that when the roof goes off and on?
convertible?
Yeah, if you have one of those, wouldn't people stab stuff in the roof?
What do you mean back then? When was all of this violence occurring?
I don't know.
So you think in the old days people would just go around stabbing the roofs on people's cars
Yeah.
just to be mean?
Yeah.
Wow. Where did you get that idea? You must have seen that in a movie or something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know what movie you were watching. Probably wasn't age appropriate. Was it an old movie?
It was James Bond.
Oh, James Bond movie? Oh yeah, right. Well, James Bond movies generally do not reflect reality very well. I could say without a doubt, I never in my entire life recall one instance where I heard of anyone having their convertible roof stabbed with knives by a psychopath. Now I'm assuming in the movie, James Bond was in the car when they were doing that?
I don't know. I know it was a what's it called?
Dream?
No, it was a scene. It was a scene like when James Bond was chasing someone.
Yeah.
The person jumped off of something and he landed right on the convertible roof.
Okay. All right, Mark, that was kind of weird. All right. Thanks for sharing. Well, we're at Manchester, Connecticut. We're only about a mile and a half from our destination. And the funny thing is, the item that I came down to look at, I just got a message through Facebook Messenger from another seller who had one, alerting me to the fact that if I'm still interested in his, I can have it for free because he just wants to get it out of his shop. So that's an interesting wrinkle. All right, Mark, what was that important question you just asked me?
What's your favorite fried chicken place now?
Well, first you asked me what when I was younger,
Yeah.
what was my favorite fried chicken place? And I said that when I was younger, there really weren't any fast food places to get fried chicken other than Kentucky Fried Chicken. And they didn't even have Taco Bell. That didn't even exist. But when Kentucky Fried Chicken first opened and they were selling fried chicken, it was really good. It was a lot better than it is now. They changed it a lot. A lot of people don't realize that. But in the old days, way back when I was a child, well, they had delicious fried chicken. They only had original recipe when they first started out, and then and they didn't call it that. They just called it whatever. And then eventually they introduced extra crispy, so you could order either original recipe or extra crispy. And they didn't have a lot of the other stuff they give you today. They had mashed potatoes. But anyways, they had mashed potatoes and coleslaw.
Arriving at address 615, on right.
Ooh, this must be it here. Okay, so anyways, I think we're here at our destination. Then you asked me, what's my favorite fried chicken place now?
Yeah.
Well, that's tough because there used to be, I mean, they're still in business, but there's Popeye's Fried Chicken.
Oh yes.
Popeyes used to have really good fried chicken, and they used to have this gravy that they would put on their mashed potatoes that had little bits of like jalapeno peppers chopped up in it, and it was like a spicy gravy, and it was really good. My mouth is watering just thinking about it, and their fried chicken was good. Now, unfortunately, the only Popeyes fried chicken that's around where we live, is all the way up in Worcester, and I've tried it twice now, and both times it was disappointing. Not like it used to be. So now you're gonna go to like a restaurant that sells fried chicken, or like that roasted chicken. That's not bad. That's where they roast it and fry it. That's messed up, but it can be delicious. What number do you see on that building right there? That does not look like the right building. All right, I gotta put the camera down so I can navigate here. I gotta find this building. Well, we got my latest acquisition all loaded up. In a rush to leave the house this morning, I forgot to take my big ratcheting straps, so I don't like the way that thing's riding with just the little friction straps that I had handy. So we're going to stop at Harbor Freight and get some cheap ratcheting straps. And in the meantime, we decided we're going to stop for lunch. Mark and I decided that McDonald's is probably where we want to go. And I got to show you the sign on this McDonald's, because it's not like any of the signs I've seen on other McDonald's. It looks very retro. Yeah, so it's like that. It looks very old. Now after a delicious meal of McKivers at McDonald's. Oh, no shortage of straps, tie-down straps, that's for sure. These are like the ones I get a lot of these tension ones. They're just like extra insurance straps, I call those. But I want a ratcheting one that I can tie down. I've got a few of these back at the house, but I think I want something a little beefier for this job. So these are 833 pound. I've got some similar to that. That's interesting. They're 20 footers. I don't need anything that long, really. These are 10 footers. 1,000 pound. Oh, I like those. It's funny, they're not as wide, but they claim to have a higher rating. Those are $6 a piece. What's this over here? I think we have a winner. So you get 4 of the same straps for $22. Whereas if you bought 4 of those, it'd be $24. So you save $2 by buying this pack. I think we'll do that. So this is a Jones and Lamson optical comparator. Mark, go stand over there so we can get an idea how big this thing is. This is going to be the largest optical comparator I've ever seen. I didn't even realize they made them this big until you just showed me this thing. This is unreal. What year do you think this thing's from?
Oh, probably from the 50s.
I was going to say it's got a very 50s look to it, but it's very cool. So we got a little bolt, little screw there with threads on it with a quarter next to it for reference. We can see on that screen. And that screen, that's going to be what? That's like 3 feet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 3 foot diameter screen.
And that's on 20 power, so
Yeah.
that should be 100 power.
Oh wow. You really want to get a good look at the threads. That's the way to do it. That is crazy cool. Can you imagine what this cost when it was new?
Right.
I mean, in today's dollars, just to build it. And it's got such a, it's a very Art Deco look or something. I remember seeing film strip projectors from the 1930s that had a look like that. The same kind of, you know, that finish, that speckled, like gunmetal gray looking. Very cool. Wow. Thanks for letting me take a video of it. It's very cool. Let me just take a quick look at the inside. So there's the turret, like a carousel with all the optics on it. So when you change range, it basically just rotates this thing and puts a different objective lens in it. And then there's the mirror up there. I mean, this thing is so big. A person could climb in there, no problem, and clean that mirror.
Yeah, it is huge.
Wild. Well, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. Well, this time of year in Massachusetts, it's already dark. So, I get home, all I'm going to do is park this truck, and I'll have to continue this video tomorrow and show you what we picked up. In the meantime, I'm going to have to see what I can do to find some tarps or something, I guess, to cover, because I think we got some rain moving in tomorrow. Kind of think of it, if it's raining too heavy, I might not even be able to show what's might not even be able to do a show and tell until Saturday. Alright, signing off for now. Oh, Mark, who's still here with me, right, Mark?
Yep.
Mark wanted me to show everybody, in case you watch all of my videos, that the tachometer on the Dodge is working fine. It's been intermittent all day long, but in the past, I don't know, for the past half hour at least, it's just been holding steady, no problems, no unusual lights, everything working fine. Even the brake and ABS light warning lights that were on all went out. So the truck is working 100% perfectly fine, which is annoying because I haven't done anything other than drive it. So that's the nature of intermittent problems, though. They can be very difficult to diagnose. All right, so like I said, signing off for now. Say bye, Mark.
Bye.
Popeye's fried chicken.